In this lesson, we'll cover 4 ways to play the rainbow connection, including 2 strumming patterns and 2 finger-picking patterns. You can choose to play the entire song using just one of these 4 patterns, or you can use a combination. Throughout this lesson, I'll be playing my tenor with low G tuning. Now, if you have high G tuning, you can follow this entire tutorial. Just keep in mind that your 4th string is 1 octave higher than mine, so the patterns will sound a bit different on your instrument, particularly the finger-picking patterns, but they still sound beautiful with high G tuning. Now we're going to start off with our play-along, so you can hear the entire song, and you'll see me demo each of the 4 patterns in different sections. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
But only illusions, and rainbows have nothing to hide. So we've been told, and some choose to believe it. I know the wrong, wait and see. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection. Dreamers and me. Who said that every wish would be heard and answered when wished on the morning star? Somebody thought of that and someone believed it. Look what it's done so far. So amazing that keeps us stargazing, and what do we think we might see? Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. All of us under his spell, we know that it's probably magic. Have you been half asleep, and have you heard voices? I've heard them calling my name. Is this the sweet sound that calls the young sailors? The voice might be one and the same. I've heard it too many times to ignore it. It's something that I'm supposed to be. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. La da da dee da da do, la la da 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 dee da do.
Now let's begin our tutorial by looking at how to play the chords. Our first chord is G, and we're playing G with our index and middle fingers on the 2nd fret of strings 3 and 1, and our ring finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. Next we have our C chord, which is the 3rd fret of the 1st string. Now sometimes I like to play C with my pinky because it makes for an easy transition between C and G. Next we have G major 7. For this chord we have our index, middle, and ring fingers on the 2nd fret of strings 3, 2, and 1. Next we have A minor, which is the 2nd fret of the 4th string. Here we can use our middle finger or our index finger. And then we have D. For D, we're playing the 2nd fret of strings 4, 3, and 2. And we have a couple chord shape options for D as well. We can use either our index, middle, and ring fingers, we can use our middle, ring, and pinky. So when we transition from A minor to D, if we're using our index finger for A minor, then we'll keep it in place when we move to our D chord and add our middle and ring fingers. Similarly, if we're using our middle finger to play A minor, then we'll keep it in place moving to D, adding our ring finger and pinky. Next we have E minor. Now in this song we transition many times between G and E minor. So an easy way to do this chord transition is to form our G chord and then add our pinky to the 4th fret of the 3rd string. Then to go back to G from E minor, we can lift up our pinky. Another option for E minor, if you prefer, is to play the standard chord shape. And here we have our index finger on the 2nd fret of the 1st string, middle finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, and ring finger on the 4th fret of the 3rd string. Next we have D7. This is a Hawaiian version of D7. We're playing the 2nd fret of strings 4 and 2, and we can use either our index and middle fingers or our middle and ring fingers. Then we have C major 7, which is the 2nd fret of the 1st string, and then we have F sharp minor. Now to play this chord, the chord shape is essentially taking our standard G7 chord and moving it all up one string. So here we have our index finger on the 1st fret of the 3rd string and our middle and ring fingers on the 2nd fret of strings 4 and 2. Next we have B minor 7. This is a bar chord where we have our index finger across all 4 strings on the 2nd fret. And if you'd like, you can also use your middle finger for additional support. And our last chord is E7. To play this chord, we have our index finger on the 1st fret of the 4th string and our middle and ring fingers on the 2nd fret of strings 3 and 1. If you'd like to download the song sheet for the Rainbow Connection, including the lyrics, chords, and all of the patterns, you'll find it on my Patreon page, along with the song sheets for all of the songs that I've shared on my channel. The link is down below in the video description. Now we'll take a look at our patterns. Now each of our 4 patterns consists of 3 beats, so the patterns are interchangeable. As we walk through each pattern, we'll look at how to play it on a C chord, and then we'll apply the pattern to the first 2 lines of verse 1, counting out the rhythm at a slow tempo. We'll look at each of our patterns on a C chord. So here's our first strumming pattern. The strumming here is down, up, down. Down, up, down. Down, up, down. And the rhythm is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now let's apply this pattern to the first 2 lines of verse 1. Here we have a total of 8 chords, and I'll play through the chords at a slow tempo to count out the rhythm, starting on G. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And now pattern 2. The strumming here is down, down, up, down. Down, down, up, down. Down, down, up, down. The rhythm is 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. And at a faster tempo, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now let's apply pattern 2 to the first 2 lines of verse 1 at a slow tempo, starting on G. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, is our first finger-picking pattern. The rhythm here is 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and at a faster tempo, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. To play this pattern, we'll start by picking the 4th string with our thumb, 3rd string with our index finger, strings 1 and 2 together with our middle and ring fingers, and then we'll finish the pattern back on the 3rd string with our index finger. Now let's apply pattern 3 to the first 2 lines of verse 1, counting out the rhythm at a slow tempo, starting on G. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And finally we have pattern 4. The rhythm of this pattern is 1 and 2 and 3 and at a faster tempo, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. To play this pattern, we'll pick strings 4 down to 1 with our thumb, index finger, middle finger, and ring finger, and then we'll finish the pattern on the 3rd string with our index finger. Now let's apply pattern 4 to the first 2 lines of verse 1 at a slow tempo, starting on G. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now that you've learned the chords and the patterns, you're ready to play through the song. Each chord is held for 3 beats, so you can apply any one of the patterns one time to each chord. Now I hope you'll go back to the beginning of this video and join me for the play along. Have fun learning this song, and thanks for watching.